looking at now is the consumer perspective, looking at the costs and the benefits of those, but also trying to figure out how to capitalize on those, how to bring those. Please come up. Public service. Thinking of public services, they should therefore benefit the public, but also thinking of public services, they never benefit everyone equally. They are infrastructure. But how can we get them to benefit? So welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Monika Štajnarová, and I'm working as Economic Officer in BEUC, the European Consumer Organization. For those who are not familiar with BEUC, we are representing consumer voice and consumer interests in Brussels. Our organization was established 50 years ago, and today we have 42 members who are independent national consumer organizations from 31 European countries. And here you can see some of our members. During next 15-20 minutes, I will try to be short, I would like to talk about the role of consumers and their role in the current energy markets and how this may change in the future. So I will try to mention a few points on consumer protections, the rules we have right now and what is needed in the future, the costs and benefits, how to engage with consumers, I think the most important thing we should do before moving to smart energy markets, we should stop for a while and think about this question. Do current energy market deliver to consumers right now? And the answer is no, unfortunately not. What we have seen is a high level of consumer dissatisfaction. Why? Because bills are not accurate, very often not really understandable. There are aggressive marketing practices. When I want to switch, it's sometimes a huge challenge to actually find the best deal, especially in the markets which are more complex. Complaint handling procedures are not always effective. We have more and more consumers living in energy poverty. So how this should, something has to change so that the consumer rules are, let's say, ready to cope with the future challenges. Let's go back to basics. First, complaint handling and redress mechanism. What we have right now, meaning what is the remit of one single regulator, will change in the future, and we can see the overlap of responsibilities of different regulators. Energy and telecom will have new services, new packages provided by suppliers, by energy services providers from different sectors. So when there is a problem, it must be clear where to go so that the problem can be solved. That's why we, for example, supported during the discussions on Energy Efficiency Directive, which was adopted last week, the inclusion that, for instance, Energy Ombudsman should be able to act across industries so that there is effective complaint handling. Second point, I already mentioned tariff complexity. What we are likely to see is that with flexible tariffs, time-of-use tariffs, the tariff complexity may even increase. So regulators should do maximum that tariffs are not too complicated and confusing. Privacy and security. This is a huge issue, and I will leave it up to Michiel Karskens to talk about this issue, but this must be solved before smart meters are rolled out. Single point of contact, very important, even more important in the future. It has been established by the third energy package. So its role starts to be even more important so that consumers can find basic information on energy services. I can find more information about aggregated energy service provider in my area. There will be also, what we have seen are long-term contracts and what kind of impact it has on consumers. And this may change also with new packages and new services. So in order to solve this, people really need to be informed about what kind of impacts such a lock-in will have on their energy bills over the whole time period. And what if I change my energy consumption during that time? What if I change a job and I start to have home office, so my consumption will change? How this will have impact on my energy bill within this program? Now, about cost and benefit. I think we will all agree that smart meters will bring benefits to different stakeholders, to DSOs, suppliers, ESCOs, meter manufacturers, and some benefits also to consumers. Who should pay for this? Who should pay for what? I think that the best way how to look at it is that let's look at the functionalities smart meters are providing, because each functionality will deliver benefits to certain stakeholders. So that leads to the point that consumers should pay only for what they benefit from. Now let's look at consumers' benefits. First, the basic benefit is accurate bill. There are also other benefits such as new services, raising awareness, and so on. But when we look at financial side, let me tell you, we have commissioned research last year, analyzing certain or several projects, and this research will be presented to you later this morning. And what we have seen is that in best case scenarios, meaning combination of tools such as smart meters, direct, indirect feedback, there were savings between 2 and 4%. Talking in euros, that means between 15 and 30 euros for a household with average consumption per year. I put here that we should focus more on consumer diversity. What I mean with that is that there will be consumers where they will clearly benefit because they are already motivated and their consumption is high enough so that they can shift some of their consumption to off-peak and they may save. But consumers are different and they have different needs, different interests, different motivations and different potential to save. There are already consumers who are, let's say, consuming the minimum they can and they just simply cannot move any consumption. That brings me to my last question on this slide. Should smart meters be mandatory for consumers? What we have seen in practice and also from different analyses, the answer is no. They shouldn't. Let consumers choose what they want, and if they really want to take part in that smart metering project. We have seen the situation in the Netherlands. Analyses also show that voluntary rollout will increase consumer participation, public support, will help to allocate the costs. So, on the other hand, mandatory rollout will be faster, but may result in higher costs. Now, for those consumers who decide to participate, what should be done? If we roll out smart meters without any other measures, it won't deliver anything. And here the key points are to engage, not to let them accept smart meter. It must be simple. Consumers are not interested in additional full-time job to be energy consumer, in fact. It needs to be financially worthwhile. When I talked about, at the previous slide, I talked about our research and potential savings between 15 and 30 euros in the best cases. The question is what is worthwhile for each customer. And then make it funny. If I have a smart meter, we cannot accept that, or we cannot expect, that's the word, that people will check their consumption every 5 minutes, their smart meter, wherever it is, in the cave, outside the house. So there will be different channels how to communicate, different interfaces, and what may be suitable for one person doesn't have to be the best solution for another one. For example, web-based applications may be interesting, but we need to consider that 30% of Europeans are not online. Some countries will have in-home display, which is also one of the solutions. But we really need to see what is the diversity of consumers and how to address them. The most important is it must be funny. If, and this is to summarize, if we want consumers, if we want to achieve, let's say, behavioral change, which is very often discussed, we need to show consumers clear benefits. And only if people are motivated to change their energy consumption, only if they have a choice, and only if they have the right tools and incentives, they may save energy. Last but not least, do not put the entire savings burden on consumers. We need clear roles and responsibilities. One example may be national campaigns before smart meter roll out, including social marketing campaigns to inform consumers. What was interesting for me recently to see that in the UK, where we can expect the rollout soon, within 2 years, there is more than half of the population who doesn't know what is smart meter now. So what are the minimum requirements for those who decide to participate? First of all, accurate bills. That should be the right when the consumer has smart meter. Up-to-date information, access to historical consumption data, how you present information. We don't really understand kilowatt hours. We need information in monetary terms, in additional in unit prices, additional charges, including any discount related to our tariff. When I was talking about consumer diversity, here I will come back to this. We need personalized advice, consumer education, and assistance to actually understand what the smart meter is about. It may be during the installation, during or consequently. And about minimum requirements about technology, interoperability and minimum standards. These are the key points here. A few points about demand response. We often discuss what is the potential, what are the barriers, what do we need. But the fact is that we don't have enough experience in Europe. What can be achieved by demand response? And first we need to see all the implications of different tariffs, time of use tariffs, critical peak pricing on different consumer groups. That's been already discussed yesterday in the afternoon, and I, again, would like to support the idea to have distributional analysis on the impact of time of use tariffs on different consumer groups, and how these groups can benefit from time of use tariffs. The last point, it should be always choice. If I want to have smart meter, if I want to take part in demand response program, give us a choice. Thank you.
Okay, we'll have maybe one question from the audience, if there is one quick question. Okay, I'd like to say just one from my point of view is that, okay, the customer doesn't know what a smart meter is. So what? Do they need to? Fortum actually has rolled out already in Finland a service with their corporation offering customers control over their heating, electric water heating, uses smart meter data, links up to the spot price. You get a spot price related demand response water heating. It's a service that's already there. It's being offered to customers, and no one in Finland has a clue if they have a smart meter or not, because no one's told them. But does it matter? So does it matter if a customer knows if they've got a smart meter? Does it only matter if they know what services are being offered to them and they understand the services? Yeah.
Well, I think it's quite a challenge to compare Nordic countries, the models, the spot prices. And I think it was also the same in Italy. People didn't really know. And you can also see it on the way how they benefit from that. So, I mean, we are still kind of, it's not even about acceptance. What we need is engagement. Sometimes some people are happy with acceptance, but if there is not even acceptance,
But my question is, are you engaging them in the service, or are you engaging them in smart meters? I mean, if you buy a car, do you need to be engaged in the battery?
I won't be engaged with my smart meter in my cave, obviously. Yeah. So with services, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, you know, because I think the thing is, a lot of us are engineers here. I'm not, so I'll stand aside from that problem. But basically, you know, the thing is, a lot of us are engineers, and we're in an industry where we're focused on smart meters. And I'm just wondering, and I'm curious in the questions and answers section to hear your opinion on this, is that are we focusing on the benefits of a tool that leads us to the services rather than focusing on the services themselves and worrying maybe a lot? I mean, this is a question. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer here. I'm interested to hear your views on this as well. But playing devil's advocate here, I think it's very important that we realize that in the case of, for example, I have a smart meter in my home, and I'm a smart meter specialist, and I didn't even know that I had it until 2 weeks ago because the company didn't tell me they'd installed it. But great, you know, it's the service that matters, right? So, okay, but thanks very much. Thank you. Okay, so now we're moving on, and